You know, sometimes when that conversation gets round to talking about firsts, and Nick and I had that chat yesterday, we talk about like first car, first teacher, first love. And he made me promise to come in and show him one of my firsts. And it was this bad boy, my Motorola 4800X, my first mobile phone. I got us thinking about all the other things that we loved and loathed about the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, you can't believe that was 1988, that phone was around.
It's nuts. The same era as my shell suit from Club Azure, which you still take the mickey out of me for wearing too.
Crosses the line.
Cool. Now, there's something else from the 80s that we want to share with people that also crosses the line.
Yeah, I couldn't quite believe it when researching it, but ISDN was born in 1988.
Which is nuts. And when you think about all the marketing that you hear out there, which is equally nuts about trying to create a compelling event around ISDN switch off in 2025, that's really old tech to still be alive.
Yeah, you feel like it should have been switched off years ago rather than it being a future date.
It does. So, if we're going to talk about ISDN being this legacy technology which is sort of limping towards death, is it helpful to take a step back and just say, 50% of companies are still using ISDN, but what is it that they're actually relying on for their comms?
So it's a copper-based product, delivers phone call capabilities into an on-prem PBX.
Right, so like a normal phone line, but maybe where you can make more than one call over.
Yeah.
Plugged into a bit of equipment, which would have been like a switchboard back in the days, it might have been called, or a PBX or whatever, that then lets you do stuff with those multiple phone lines coming on that bit of copper, yeah?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Cool. There's this date out there in the future, which it might be coming to end of life, but mobile phones have come on a little bit since the 80s, so I'm guessing also, PBXs have come on and options have come on around that technology.
Yeah, I mean, there's been replacement tech for quite some time now. It comes in mainly sort of two flavors, which is SIP, which is sort of a transitional product. So that's if you really want to keep that PBX on site and you really love it. You can replace the ISDN with SIP, which really moves it to a digital-based solution.
Okay, so SIP lets you, I don't know if you like that bit of equipment or you may be tied into a lease or a maintenance agreement and you want to eke some more life out of it, SIP just replaces the ISDN line bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, and that does it over
the internet. So you just need a data connection, lease line, FTTC.
Right, a decent quality internet connection, bin the ISDN line off, keep the old bit in.
Exactly.
Cool. But there's also a lot of talk about cloud telephony, which is the next level on.
Yeah, that's the real move away from on-premise. So that is a cloud-based PBX. So you take all that capability and more, put it in the cloud, and it really means you can do all the things you do in the office, but from anywhere.
Cool. So SIP is like replacing this with a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Cloud telephony is like replacing this with an iPhone. It's kind of what I'm hearing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. And if it's that good, it lets you make and receive calls on laptops, on mobile phones, still on a desk phone if I like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talking like that,
with
a headset if I like being like that.
Yeah.
Listen to my music or being on my phone.
Yeah.
Boss doesn't really quite know which. Yeah. So that feels like it makes a lot of sense, which I guess then begs the question, why has half the country not done this yet?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's around change. People fear change when they don't need to. The capability has moved on so much in that cloud space that actually everything you need to be able to do can be done now in the cloud.
Cool. And what about cost? Am I likely to spend more money? Am I likely to save money? Is it likely to be about the same, just better?
You should save. So big changes are straight away, it's a per user solution. So if you're a small business, you'll have a small number of users, small bill. Generally it bundles in minutes, so you're not going to get a sort of per pence per minute type situation. So it should be a cheaper solution.
So regardless of what size I am, I could have 5 people or 500 people. It scales to either end of that spectrum.
Yeah, and you can start right there. It can be 1 or 2 users, and that could grow over and become 100 users, and that's no problem.
Cool. So that feels like it makes sense, but I'm not actually. I'm hearing about cloud telephony a lot, but I'm also hearing about Zoom, Teams, unified comms. What's the sort of difference between cloud telephony and like Zoom or Teams or that stuff I'm hearing about?
So I think Teams really brought collaboration and telephony together. Whereas, if you go back a few years, they were separate entities. So what you can do is basically take your Teams instance, plug it into a cloud telephony solution, and then Teams becomes your dialer, your way of making and receiving calls.
So if I don't do that today, I don't have to, but it's something I can make work in the future.
Yeah, it's don't do it today, but do it when you're ready.
Cool. So, I mean, for me, whilst it sounds like, we were sort of joking about 2025 being out there, 2023 being a slightly earlier date when I think it's going to be stop sell. So it feels like I'm going to have to make the change at some point. So it's a kind of, well, if it's going to be better and cheaper, then why not do it now? Is that kind of the message?
Yeah, I think waiting until 2025 is very dangerous. People are already starting to stop sell it. It really is the time now. It's the solutions are, have matured.
Cool. And if people want to find out a little bit more about it, what it means for their business, is it difficult to research, look into? How do they go about doing that?
So, have a chat with us. It's a 10, 15-minute conversation. We can look at what you've got today, what would be the right solution to move you to, and pull that together.
Cool. Well, I think that's the message. If you're using ISDN, if you're using an on-premise switchboard, spend 15 minutes, look into it, have a chat about how it might enable different ways of working, hybrid working, a bit more flexible, using different devices, whatever it might be. But it feels like it's definitely worth a 15-minute chat. And, if we can help you with that conversation, we'd absolutely love to.